You literally scared me. Oh my gosh. Good evening and welcome to season 2, episode 7? 7? 7. Um
Seven.
where sugar meets spice and everything nice. We're your hostess, Kat, Allie, and Mo. And we did start a little bit late today because apparently Mo was having trouble.
Technical difficulties, aka Discord wanted to fuck with me for no reason.
So, um I wanted to start off this episode with just saying I've experienced the most amazing sleep of my life last night. Here's how it went. So I have my mom bought me a anxiety, you know those anxiety pillows, like, or not anxiety pillows. That's what I call them, but the heavy pillows? No, blankets.
Weighted blanket.
Yes. The heavyweight blankets. Um she bought me one of those not like last year or a year and a half ago. And I haven't used it recently only because I've been really bad with my sleep schedule, so I've been trying to, cuz I know that, like, the first time that I tried that, I actually went to work late. So I wasn't gonna like use it anytime soon. Um, so I went ahead and like put it under my pillows to act like a third pillow, or like a third pillow, I mean, sorry. But recently, like, I was just like, man, I can't sleep. I don't know what it is, but I have this pillow and it really worked well that first time I tried it. So let me go ahead and try it again. And I also had the idea of putting my phone, since my phone was fully charged, I was gonna put my phone next to me and like just play rain sounds because I love rain. Um, so I did that. So I put up, I set up the Spotify playlist for the rain sounds. And then I put the blanket over me, and I swear to you, I don't remember when I knocked out, but I knocked the fuck out. And this morning, when you when you get those like marks on your arms or like anywhere on your body, and it's like you had a good sleep because of these marks, like in like dents in your skin. Oh, what are
Hmm.
those? You know what I'm talking about? Like, there's
I know
dents.
exactly what you're talking about.
I I had those this morning, and I just felt so energized. I was like, you know what? I want to go outside. I'm gonna go take a walk. Um, we have this big bottle of, oh God, what is it called? It's a big bottle of like flavored water with electrolytes. Um, and those electrolytes, or I'm sorry, the bottle is pretty fucking huge. But it was really good. It was kiwi and strawberry flavored, and I drank the whole thing. We actually have another bottle, and I was wanting to get that other bottle, but I didn't want to because my sister was like, "No, that's mine." But I just felt so productive and so energized. Like, I did a lot of shit today. I've never felt that way before in my life. So I just wanted to start off saying I had a great sleep. How about you? I hope
Yeah.
everybody else had a great sleep because I know I did.
So glad you felt energized. I had a headache most of the day.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's because like I'm going through my lady stuff. I'm not gonna say it out
Oh,
loud, but the ladies get it.
yeah.
If I
Yeah.
slept, I slept good.
Best naps ever. I'm willing to do it again tonight, but I don't know. I don't know. Because I
Okay.
do have stuff that I gotta do tomorrow early in the morning. And I feel like if I did it again tonight, I'm gonna oversleep. so,
You might,
so I probably
especially if you
won't.
leave alarms. If I know for a fact I'm gonna knock out, I have to leave like 10 plus alarms because I'll sleep through like most of them.
Same. Same. I do the same exact thing. I I'll hear my alarms go off and I'm just like, okay, I have to get up, and then realize that it's like 4 in the morning and I'm like, I can sleep for another like 10, 15 minutes. Go back to sleep. Another alarm goes off and then I'm like, no, I can get up later. Just
I'm so glad that's a universal experience.
yeah. I am so glad that I'm not the only one who has to go through that. Oh man.
Exact same thoughts being like, do you know what? I can do 5 more. You know what's funny is I'll do 5 more minutes. I have my alarm set to like to snooze, right? If I hit snooze, it'll take 5 minutes. And it'll go off a certain amount of times.
Mhm.
And all the time I'm like, okay, snooze. Okay, snooze. And if my snooze goes out, I'm like, fuck. Okay, you know what? I'll set up a timer.
You know what I did? Never worked for me, but I still do it to this day. I have an alarm set, or well, with the old phone that I had because I switched to iPhone. I had a Samsung before, but with the old phone, they had this alarm setting that you can like you'll do the first couple of them. I have the first couple of alarms as snooze, right? And then the next couple of alarms were no snooze, right? So it'll just go off once and then that's it. The last couple of alarms that I had were set to this puzzle mode to where you had to solve the puzzle and turn to be able to turn off the alarm, or else the alarm will just keep ringing in your ear. So that's what I had for my phone last
Seeing a
my
thing
last
on Amazon, like there's a thing I think that like it's your alarm and it has wheels on it and it'll turn on and it'll like start rolling around your room and stuff and you have to chase after it to turn it off. And I've seen a TikTok of those, and every time I see that TikTok, I just like, oh my god, that sounds like the worst thing in the world because I would hate having to go get up and chase it because my alarm
Oh
clock right now is
no.
my dog's.
I actually might need that though. Not gonna lie, just to
But
put
it
in my
sounds
exercise for the
so
day.
awful. I don't just imagine
Imagine.
you're just so tired. You're so fucking tired. Or maybe it's your day off. I don't know, and you
Oh
forget
my.
to
Oh, dude,
you
that'd be
forget to
me.
turn it off.
That'd be me. I forget to
That
turn
would
off
be
my alarm.
so bad. Oh my god, that sounds like literally, if I were to just go to hell after my death and like the devil wanted to torture me, that would be one of the ways to torture me.
Yeah, no, dude, that's me. I forget to turn off my alarms when it's my day off, and you guys would have to remind me to turn them off when I go over to Houston because I don't want to get yelled at. I
No,
don't want to
dude,
get yelled at. Why is that
I
alarm
used
going off at 4 in the morning?
I used to have these alarms. No, no, no. Okay, hold on. No, JP's alarms go off. He has them every like 10, 25 minutes or so. And even like on his days off, he'll accidentally leave them on. And
Oh
oh my
Lord.
God, it's a pet peeve right now to where it's like, say he'll have to go to work early in the morning, like 4 o'clock in the morning. So he'll leave an alarm for 3 o'clock and 3:30 in the morning.
Mm.
And oh my god, the first alarm will go off and I'll hear it and I'll glance his way. He turns it off and then goes back to sleep. So in my mind, I'm like, okay, he turned off all his alarms. I think this every time, it doesn't change. And the next one will go off and then it's a continued pattern. And in my mind, I'm like, oh my god. Oh my god, turn off the alarms. Just turn off all the alarms. And he won't do it. He's just so tired. He'll just turn off that alarm and go back to sleep. But here I am, so frustrated. I'll be like, bro, I just want to go to sleep.
No.
Please.
No.
And I think every time that he's gonna turn off all his alarms, because then I'll be the one to turn them all off, or I'll be like, turn them off in such an angry voice that I'll feel bad later. But I'm like so fucking tired.
No,
Like
yeah,
I'm
I
telling
would
you,
be
that's like a big pet
annoyed.
peeve.
Yeah, I would
I
be
could
annoyed if
never.
my significant other did that shit because what I think I would do is I would wake up and then just give them the death stare until they turn it off.
Dude, I give the side glance, like the whole like I'm staring at him side eye until he turns it off. And then if it keeps going off, it'll turn more of a death stare, and I'll sit up and I'll be like, "Can you turn it off? Can you turn them off?" Because they last from about maybe 2:30, maybe 3 o'clock, all the way till 4:30, and they go off every 20 minutes, 15 minutes. And I used to be the kind of person I used to have alarms set into like 5 minutes between each other. Otherwise, I will definitely fall back asleep. And the 5 minute alarms would help me so much because then I'd be like, okay, yeah, I definitely have to get up. It's like getting
Mm.
annoying now. But I stopped doing that because I started getting uh on his routine, and now I don't wake up with my alarms. It's like the worst decision I've made.
Mm. Yeah, no, I would be annoyed. I would, and honestly, like, I'm the type of person who forgets to turn off those alarms, and I would be annoyed at myself for doing that. Um, Man, when was the last time I did that? I don't do it now because I only work Monday through Friday, and we don't usually get a lot of days off. We only get like the most common holidays off, right? So it'll be like Labor Day, Thanksgiving, Black Friday, like Christmas, but that's like a day out of the week. One day out of the week. So if it was one of those days, then yeah, I would definitely be annoyed at myself for not turning off those alarms. Um, let's see here. I did see that there is because this season we're doing all about am I the asshole? That's gonna be my story is am I the asshole for leaving the alarm on a day off? Which I am. But I do
Am I the
have
asshole if I forget to turn off my alarm?
that's my story right there. Just, am I the asshole? No, sorry, that'll be a story for JP. Am I the asshole for leaving my alarms on on my day off? Waking up
You
my
are
girlfriend.
the asshole.
You are the biggest asshole. Oh my god. Let's see. I did see one that I wanted to share, but I don't know where it's at. I lost it. A second. Do you have one on hand, Mo?
Uh,
Because I lost the one that I was going to say.
I have one on hand, I think.
Okay, bet. Yeah, that gives me time to find the one that I had.
Okay, so this one is called Am I the Asshole for Returning My Husband's Birthday Gift to Pay for the Birthday Cake My Daughter Baked After He Refused to Pay Her? And apparently this is rated asshole. So let's see. Let's see if everybody's right about it. Sorry, all my water bottles fell down.
You're good.
And they all fell on me, so I was just like, what the fuck? Okay. This is basically the title. My daughter, 16, has a thing for baking. She bakes cakes and some, I said some, not all, sweets, and makes some money out of it by selling her work to relatives, friends, and supposedly us. Supposedly. My friends, my husband's, her stepdad, 45th birthday took place days ago. He asked my daughter to bake him the birthday cake and she agreed. I told him about paying her, to which he responded, pay her? Get out of here. I'm her dad. I insisted she's a yes person and a people pleaser, so won't outright demand the money from him. He said he'd pay, but days went by and he didn't pay her a cent. I decided to go ahead and sell the wristwatch I bought him as his birthday cake. Wait, as his birthday cake, and to pay her for her cake. I don't think her. They didn't exactly type right. He found out and went off on me. I told him he had enough time and should have paid her seven before he received the cake. He said that I was teaching her to treat familial relationship as transactional and rating her to be materialistic. I guess raising, not rating. I explained the time, effort, and even money to put towards making the cake, but he lashed out verbally, calling me an asshole for making this move and for enabling my daughter to expect so much from family and that she's supposed to help with nothing in return. He's furious and told almost the whole family about how I took back his birthday gift and returned it. I got enough shame from my family members to begin to think that I might be an asshole for how I dealt with this. Am I the asshole? Y'all, my daughter did want and expect to be paid. If she intended for it to be for free, then I wouldn't have kept my mouth shut. And also, the wristwatch isn't expensive. I kept the rest of the money after giving my daughter her share. Ooh, that's the rest of it.
Okay. Um. Hmm. You said it's rated as asshole,
It says it's rated as asshole.
but man, I don't know. I need to hear your opinion because I feel like I'm going towards not asshole here, but
Well, I'm leaning that way too. I'm like, I don't understand why it's rated as asshole. Hold
I
on.
don't, unless we're unless we're misreading it, but I don't see it this as an asshole thing.
Going through the comments right now.
Okay. See if you find any like updates or something as to why it's rated asshole because I don't see it as an asshole thing. I don't know.
See it as her being the asshole because I meant if they all knew that this is like her little business, right?
Mhm.
And I don't know if the daughter pays for her own supplies, but if he wanted a cake and I don't know if the daughter told him like, "Hey, like I want to be get paid or whatever," like uh I mean the mom said it like, "Hey, she wants to be compensated, I guess, for the cake." And he's like, "Okay, yeah." He said he would pay her and then he never did. And then made a big deal about it when his wife paid for the cake and then was like, "Oh,
So
why do
he
you
would be the
expect her to
asshole.
like depend on family?" Like he sounds like the asshole. I don't
So
understand
I'm
why.
assuming the rating is going more for him and not her.
I hope so.
I hope so because he's the
Okay, well
asshole.
some I think because some people are saying because this person said I'm a big believer in no one should buy their own birthday cake.
What?
I'm kind of on the fence. OP for
Oh,
returning
okay.
his gift. Was that necessary? And for stepdaughter for refusing to pay her because family, or stepdad for refusing to pay her because family.
Okay. So they
Okay,
were
somebody said you're the asshole. I have never in my life heard of a person expecting to get paid for making a close relative's birthday cake. I mean, if your daughter owned a bakery and your husband went in and put in an order for a cake, yes. And seriously, as his wife, it would be normal that you provide the birthday cake, whether you make it yourself or buy one at the local bakery. So if you wanted your daughter to make your husband a cake and you wanted her to be paid for her work, then you should have paid her to begin with.
yeah,
I
yeah,
do
yeah.
agree on that.
Definitely. Yeah, now I
I think she
understand.
just wanted the stepdad to kind of like, I guess, like help support her business because this is something it sounds like she wants to do. So I guess the mom was like, "Hey, like be supportive," and he's like, "No." I don't know. It's very weird, but I kind of get why people say they're the
Yeah.
asshole.
I see it now. Yeah. As soon as you said that, I was like, wait, okay. I see it now.
Yeah, the way I had seen it was like, uh, like she just was hoping that he would support her business. Item return me the money first. You talked to your daughter. Did you want? Yep. Yeah. Okay. I can see why. It makes perfect sense.
Yeah, no, I definitely see that. I was just a bit confused, but now that it's been cleared, I can see why. I can definitely see why they're rating it as asshole rather than not asshole.
Did you
um
find yours yet?
yeah, actually I did. I found it. Um the one that I have is called Am I the Asshole for Expecting My Girlfriend to Pay Her Share of the Rent? First of all, this is rated as asshole, and I would have to agree. Because when I read it, I was just like, I mean, yeah, okay. So it goes, my girlfriend and I have been dating for a year and we want to move in together. We want a 2 bedroom, 1 bath apartment or townhouse near my work. I'm a second-year pathology resident and my residency is 5 years long. She works from home and wants an office. She also makes 120K. I don't know why he put this information, but he did. She also makes 120K and I only make 68K. So our rent is 1,800 a month plus utilities, and she wants to go half on both rent and utilities. So we would both pay roughly 1,000 a month. Because she is using one of the rooms as her office, I feel like she should pay more, so I should pay 700 and she should pay 1,300. This she thinks even if she is using an extra room because living near the hospital is very expensive, I should pay half because we could get a cheaper place if I don't live near work. She thinks oh yeah, he spelled this wrong. I don't know what he was trying to say here. Oh, she thinks it's because we are paying more to live near my work so I don't have to pay for gas. I should pay half for the rent. I find she's being selfish because she makes much more than me. And once I complete my residency, I can easily make 350, uh, 350K a year or more. But according to her, it's not fair for her to wait 3 years to potentially get paid back because we could break up and she would have subsidized me. To me, if she isn't willing to pay a bit more to put some skin in the game, I don't know what the fuck that says. She's being a gold digger and waiting for me to make bank without giving anything in the first place. We argued about this a few times, and I just want to know if I'm crazy in my thinking or she's being selfish. See, the thing about this is, in my opinion, in relationships, if you want to make something work, everything has to be cut down 50-50. So that includes rent. If you're going to be living with your significant other, put your 50% in because they're going to be covering the other 50%.
Hmm.
That's my whole thing is if you want to do something, if it's like how I see it is one of the great examples that I've seen like last year I think somebody mentioned like so we were talking about relationship stuff and they mentioned like if you're gonna be in a relationship it has to be a 50-50 situation. So say you go to a restaurant and say one of you takes care of the bill, the other can take care of the tip. Or if you want to pay the bill together you can do so by doing 50-50, or just pay all together and then the other one covers the next meal of the day or the next day. Um but it's like you do something, they have to do something in that sort of sense of like doing the 50-50. Like somebody buys the movie tickets, you buy those snacks. Like that's how I see it is you have to have that 50-50 relationship to make that relationship work because it's not fair that one of you is putting in the 80% and the other one is just 20. It's not fair.
Yeah. Especially if you guys are gonna work as a team. Like the whole relationship is a team effort, and like they moved closer to the hospital so that way it'd be easier for him. And like, I mean, fuck, 1,800 a month is so much
It is
already.
a lot, yeah. And if you didn't
And
want to pay that much, you should have gone for a cheaper place. That's
yeah,
up to him. Like that's because he was like, "Oh, I don't want to pay for gas." Well, gas is cheaper than this rent. So,
It probably would have costed cheaper living somewhere obviously cheaper and paying for gas, or even if he wanted to, if he has an electric car. We don't know what he drives, but it probably would be a bit easier with like paying the gas and whatnot than living in an apartment like that or wherever they're at.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Jesus Christ, man.
Yeah, I don't know. In my opinion, he's the asshole for even suggesting the fact that she had to pay more just because she was using one of the rooms as office.
Yeah.
Like that's her work, dude. What do you want her to do?
Like,
Like,
if he were to use that room as like study room instead, like, would he end up having to pay more
right,
because that
yeah. If
was the
that's your
room he was using,
mentality,
or would it be like, oh, like I shouldn't because this is for like whatever?
yeah. If you had that like if this dude had that mentality, he would probably been like, "Oh, but then again, if he's not trying to pay as much, he probably wouldn't have even touched that subject or
Hmm.
that topic because
That would have never came
it
up
would have never
at
came up.
all.
He wouldn't pay enough. He wouldn't pay extra for that room, in my opinion.
No, I agree.
But that's all I gotta say. Do you have another one, Miss Ma'am? Oh, by the way, just a little bit of a heads up. I should have said this at the beginning of the episode. I completely forgot. Um, but Allie is with us, but she is muted only because she does feel a little bit sick, but she did want to be part of the episode today. Um, but yeah, just want to let you guys know in case you guys are like, "Where's Allie?" Well, she's here. She is. I promise you.
He's here.
I promise you, she is. See, there she is.
This one I found is called "Am I the asshole for not wanting my husband to walk his sister down the aisle?" It's rated asshole.
I saw that. I really wanted to look into it, but I was like, I'm not gonna I'm not gonna pick that one just in case.
Oh no, I wanted to read it. I was like, oh, that looks interesting. I want to
Hmm.
know why you think
Why?
you
It's
don't
just a
want
thing.
him to walk her. Let's see. My husband, Mike, 37, is the eldest in his family. He's pretty close with his sister, Beth, 28, and they spend almost all week together. Beth had issues with her father growing up. She went no contact with him after he took her first car and damaged it. She only remained in contact with Mike since everybody else judged her for going no contact. She's getting married to her fiance of 3 years. From what I understand, she and her dad are slowly getting reconciled, but she made it clear she wants him to take no part in the wedding. She asked Mike if he could walk her down the aisle, and he agreed. I have to say that I was taken aback, and it felt a bit odd for me because her dad is alive, they're on speaking terms again. He's gonna be there at the wedding, so the logical thing to do is have him walk her down the aisle. This role isn't for her older brother, but her father. Not to mention how father in law will feel about it. I brought this up with Beth, and she had an attitude and implied that I was just saying this and objecting because of how I feel about the situation, not how our traditions should be practiced. We got into an argument and I went home. Mike thinks I'm being unreasonable and possibly causing him to miss something so sentimental, and that if anything, he feels honored to be asked to do this for her, and said that I should stop worrying about what others might say. Now we're having this conflict, three of us, and cannot seem to reach a solution. Ooh.
Mhm.
Oh no, you're the asshole. No, like I get it. Like I can see where traditions lie, but she's closest with her brother, and I guess that was her father figure for a long while. I can see
Yeah,
why.
yeah,
I can
no.
see why.
I would definitely say that this person is the asshole for that. Um if you ignore the fact that uh she's closest to him because he's like the father figure, she like he's the one who took care of her, who raised well practically raised her, um then I what's the point of you being in the wedding if
Plus,
you're not gonna accept the fact that they have that type of relationship because their bond is that strong.
and we don't. They don't exactly give detail about how her father was, because it says Beth had issues with her father growing up. She went no contact after he took her first car and damaged it. Who knows how her father is?
Yeah,
if
Fuck
he
him
was
for that.
possibly like an addict or he was just this huge narcissist or whatever. It doesn't say, but clearly they had a falling out for a good reason.
Yeah.
And like she's just I feel like she's purposely leaving that part out just to be like, "Oh yeah, like I'm right. Like it should be the father's role." Like, no.
No. No. Because if it were that, then there's no point of doing the walk down the aisle traditions. Because there's a lot of people who have issues with their parents, and they do the walk down aisle thing. I'm sorry, they don't do the walk down aisle thing. Instead, they choose somebody else in the family that they have a strong bond with. That's the whole reason of the like that's the whole thing about the tradition is you're walking down the aisle because of this person who raised you, who took care of you, that person you have a strong bond with is handing you off to the next person in your life who's going to do the same thing for you for the rest of your life. That's the whole
Exactly.
thing. That's the whole reason behind that tradition. It's not because it's, oh, it's her, it's your parents, handing you off to your significant other for the rest of your life so that way they can wash their hand. No, that's not how that works. Mm-mm.
I found this
Nope.
comment and I think I really like it. It's called "You're the asshole. There are 3 places you can always stay for free. 1, in your lane. 2, out of other people's businesses. 3, over there with your nonsense." This is way out of your
Yes.
lane. It's none of your
Yes.
business and no one is remotely interested in your nonsense. Why do you honestly care who she wants to walk her down the aisle? Do you have a problem with his sister? I
Ooh,
love that.
I love that. That's awesome. I love that. Whoever commented that, you're awesome.
It's a great one.
It's fucking awesome, dude. What the hell? I would have I love when people come up with those kinds of like responses. Me personally could never come up with something like that. But I've heard like other people come up with shit like that and I'm just like left speechless for the person who's receiving that. Like, holy shit, dude.
Those are amazing. Those are my favorite, and I need those people all the time.
Mm-hmm. We need more. We need more.
I need more.
We have a bunch of Karens. We gotta get rid of them. Replace them with these guys.
Oh yeah. I think the world would be a more peaceful place if people would
Yes.
just 1, stay in their lane, 2, mind your business, and 3,
Over there with your nonsense. Get out of here.
there with your nonsense.
Get out of here. Oh man. So here's another one that I have, and it's called Am I the asshole for kicking my nephew out of my house after he hid my husband's inhaler as a prank? And right off the bat, it is rated as not the asshole, and I have to agree.
Oh, shit.
It says here my 40 sorry my my and this is like the person writing it, they're female and they're 30, but their sister, who is a female, 39, age 39, has cancer. She's a single mom of her 16-year-old son. We were asked to take him in while she gets treated so we could help him focus on studying and provide a normal routine for him. My husband has asthma. He needs his inhaler throughout the day. Thing is, my nephew is a prankster. He'd hide the inhaler as a prank, then give it back as soon as there's panic in the house. So far, he's done it twice, and the thought it was just him messing around. The other day, my husband called me while I was at work, panicking, saying his inhaler was lost. I asked if my nephew had taken it as a prank. Uh, but he doubted it since my nephew would give it back instantly after we panicked. I got home and we looked for it for hours and had to go to the hospital eventually. When we got back, we found it sitting at the coffee table. My husband and I looked at each other, and next thing we knew, my nephew was giggling upstairs. In that moment, I just lost it. I yelled at him and told him he was no longer welcome in my home. He started panicking, and my parents called to get to the bottom of what happened, but still defended him, saying it was just a prank and that I took things too far by kicking him out while his mom is struggling. They insisted I take him back, but I refused. Now they're giving me hell about being unsupportive and making things more difficult for my struggling sister. they even blamed my husband for not keeping his things locked away. Am I the asshole? Did I make a hasty decision?
Fuck no. You are not the asshole. Those parents should take that fucking child. That he's 16. And when you read that, I was like, what if he's like a kid? That he's 16. That's twice as well. And he went to the hospital and he's up there giggling and whatnot. What? And the parents over there being like, oh, like, he's just a prankster. It was just a prank. Your husband, blah, 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 this, and that. Like, then you take him. And
Yeah,
all like, what the
yeah.
fuck?
Like,
Sounds
this
like
is
your
your
kid's already
grandchild. Come and
grown.
pick him up.
Yeah,
What the fuck are you doing? Come deal with his
exactly.
prankster side. Like, tell me how you feel.
Like, it sounds like their kids are grown and raised. They can take care of a grandchild. A
Mm,
grandchild. It's one singular grandchild. But they're gonna give the OP so much shit because their husband was going through the worst. Like, it's so bad. That was so awful. He had to go to the hospital. He has an
yeah,
inhaler for a
dude.
reason.
Literally. Like,
He's
it's the
16.
fact that you're 16. When I was 16, I was always responsible of my stuff, right? So I would always take care of like my grades. You know, especially since you're in school, you have to focus in school because you're trying at that age, you're trying to start getting ready for like, you know, start getting shit ready to plan to get to college and like go through. If you don't want to go to college, that's completely fine. Excuse me. But you also have to realize that you in order for you to walk the stage, you have to stay on top of your grades. You have to stay on top of your GPA because these the principals nowadays are very very strict about that, especially with the whole COVID thing that happened. Like, obviously it's nobody's fault that COVID happened, but because of COVID they're very very strict on your, you know, you keeping up with your grades. The only reason I say that is because I'm currently going through situations with my sister's school, because they're very on top of her about her grades. They keep calling me and letting me know that she needs to bring it up, even though she's got like 70 something on like two classes. Um, but they're very, very strict now. Um, so for you to be like a prankster, this is like on the scale of like pranks and shit, this is pretty fucking bad. And then if he continues to go down this road with pranking shit, like doing this prank stuff, um, it might get to a point where he will make a prank and it will end really bad for him. It could even leave him dead on the street if he doesn't watch out for what he's doing. Like if he doesn't put
Yeah.
a cap on what he's doing because I've seen some reports. I've seen like news articles, and um there was this one kid who loved pranking other people, and as a matter of fact, I think this was on a show that I saw, but it was about this kid who liked to prank people, and he ended up like taking this um like a blow dryer into this dark ass movie theater room, um and like was like, oh, and then like kind of waved around the the blow dryer, and everybody thought that it was a gun. So everybody obviously started freaking out and like they started running for their fucking lives, and man, it was just a whole mess. And then turns I think it was like the kid had like passed away because he was stampede through, or no, somebody had seen him and shot him because they thought that he was holding a gun, and he died. It could get that bad for this kid if he doesn't watch out for what he's doing. Like, it's ridiculous.
It's awful, man. And then they just, I'm not gonna get into the whole political thing. Never mind. But
No, please
that
don't.
at 16, at 16, I mean, you have common sense at 16. You're like,
You
I
would
mean, you're
start
maturing. Your
thinking of
brain's not fully developed. I hear that all the time. It's like, oh my god, like their brain's not fully developed. But
what the
you develop common sense at an early age, at a very early age. You should know better. Like everybody, fuck, at 16, I knew that an inhaler was pretty fucking important. I didn't want to touch other people's shit, especially if it came down to like medical shit. I will not, to this day, I will not touch anything medical wise unless I absolutely have to, because I don't want to accidentally mess something up. That is somebody, that could be somebody's life on the line if I fucked up somebody's medicine or their like their needles or whatever, like
Yeah, what
whatever
if you
they have
take a
to take.
needle and you like stab yourself? What then? What are you gonna do?
Yeah. If you accidentally inject with yourself with insulin, you don't need insulin, like,
You
like
could die.
you could fucking die. Like that's
You
like
could
I
die.
forgot exactly what happens, but like your heart rate increases and stuff and everything, and
Your
it's like
adrenaline starts going,
you
man.
have yeah, you have to go to the hospital like immediately. That's why they ask you to like be careful when you help somebody take like their insulin. Like if you
Yeah.
accidentally prick yourself, that's it. Like you need to go to the hospital. Like
Hmm.
that's I don't know, just at such a young age you should know better.
And that's the thing about kids these days too, because they think that everything is a joke now. They don't realize how bad they're affecting their like their own lives.
Yeah, kids these days I've been hearing a lot about it is that they joke around a lot and they don't really see the consequences of their actions, and then on the internet it doesn't make it any better
Mm-mm.
because the internet doesn't exactly have any like restrictions, or at least strict ones.
Yeah.
Especially like on the like open wide net, you have everything there, and there's no like way to like cut it off for you unless like some unless your parent put down parental, whatever. But
Parental
even to this
settings.
day, yeah. And I mean, not every parent's gonna do that until you're like 18 or whatever.
Yeah, no, it's ridiculous. I do be telling my sister like, hey, I know that, there are kids that are like you want to be friends with and whatnot, but I need you to be careful. Like, don't be doing none of their like if they tell you like, hey, do this and you don't want to do it, don't fucking do it.
No, I worry
Like
for
if
my
you
my
know it's bad,
cousins.
don't do it.
Yeah, my little cousins, they're like in middle school and high school now, and I'm so worried about like who they hang around because they're good kids, they're great kids. I'm just so nervous about who they like end up hanging around because they're going to the schools I used to go to, and I didn't exactly have the greatest memories of being in school. And
Mm-hmm.
kids these days, you know, I don't, I just worry about them. Because, like, fuck, these kids like this, the 16-year-old, they don't have common sense. They think everything's a fucking joke and that they'll be fine with no, like, it sounds like what the grandparents were saying, like, being like, oh, like, it was just a joke. Like, it sounds like he gets away with this way more than he needs to.
Yeah. And unfortunately, like they'll only stop when something really bad happens to them. So it's like,
To them,
yeah, to
not even towards,
themselves.
like, the poor husband, man.
Yeah, because imagine like if he did that, right? And somebody else did that to him too, like in case he had some sort of like if he were to just imagine himself in the shoes of his uncle, then he would be like, oh yeah, that's kind of bad. Like that's kind of but they won't stop. They really won't unless something really bad happens to these people to the pranksters is what I'm saying. Like if they won't realize that it's horrible what they're doing until they've had it done to themselves or until something happens to them like that they caused. Like like a
It
really bad
sounds
outcome to something that they've pranked about is what I'm trying to say.
Sounds like they have to sit down with this kid and be like, "Hey, listen, like this is like he's 16 years old. He doesn't really need to sit down about this, but unless they've never had to before, or not have to, but like unless they never did before and this was his behavior growing up and like stuff like this, they definitely should have sat him down when he was younger."
Yeah, or
But
maybe like he does it to where his parents don't know about it.
maybe
It could be
it
because
sounds like it.
it doesn't say that like the mom knows about it or anything. But if she does know about it, then that's gonna be on her own. Like that's her own fault for not setting him straight,
Yeah.
in my
It doesn't
opinion.
help that the grandparents are encouraging his fucking behavior.
Yeah, no, that's why I try to like, especially with especially with Junior. Because you know how kids are like they'll hear things and they'll pick them up and like they'll start saying that like things and whatnot. And Junior recently said a bad word in class. Um and the teacher called me and she was like, "Hey, like I don't know what's going on, but he keeps saying this bad word." And I'm just like, "Are you serious?" And so then she like showed me one of his homeworks. So he's been acting up in class that I didn't know about until recently. And as soon as I saw that, I was like, "Oh hell no!" And like got him home, sat him down, got my mom, got my dad, and we just talked to him. We were like, "Hey, we understand that, some days are frustrating, but you can't be acting this way." And like we got to the point where at one like during this conversation he gave us a little bit of an attitude and my mom was like, "Oh no." And like she quickly grabbed the belt and like set him straight, you know. Um but recently, I haven't heard him say anything. I haven't heard from his teacher, so I'm assuming he's doing okay. I hope he is, because if not, it's gonna be a situation. But um but in order, like, the thing is with kids is you have to sit them down, you have to explain why they can't do what they're doing. You have to explain the consequences, because that's exactly what we told him too. Like, you're saying all of this, what about the other kid that hears you say this? Like, what do you think is gonna happen? And so then he was like, "Oh yeah, I guess you're right." Like, in the end, he understood that he was disrespecting his teacher, he was disrespecting his classmates, and he was um distracting his classmates from getting um their learning experience. So that's the whole it's really important for you to sit down with your kids. If you find out that your kids are doing something wrong, please 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 sit them down, so that way they don't end up like, assholes in the future, like this kid.
Exactly like that kid. Like it now.
We do seem to have time for one more, Senora, if you want to do one more.
Let me see. Ooh, okay, this one's rated everyone sucks.
Ooh, I have yet to open one of
This
those.
this one says, "Am I the asshole for uninviting my future sister-in-law for my wedding after she told my fiance I was pregnant?"
I saw that too. Yes, tell me the information.
I decided to keep my pregnancy to myself because I don't know what I'm going to do about it, and I knew my fiance wasn't going to be happy with the news. My future sister-in-law slash best friend is the only other person who knew, as I only took the test at her suggestion at her house. She also agreed that her brother was unlikely to be happy about it, but she felt like I should tell him immediately anyway. We kept arguing over it because I told her I just needed time to process it, and she felt like I was making excuses to avoid telling him. In the end, she told him herself while we were having dinner with their family. He was so upset he confronted me in front of everyone, so now they all know and everybody is upset with me for keeping it from him. His sister kept trying to reach out and apologize after it happened, but I was ignoring her as her only excuse was that he was her brother, so she couldn't keep it from him, and that she gave me 3 weeks to tell him myself. The last time she called me, I was so upset that I answered and yelled at her. In the heat of the moment, I uninvited her from the wedding and told her I would find a new bridesmaid. I've given my fiance and his family another reason to be upset with me, but I've refused to let her come to the wedding, even as a regular guest, despite them asking me to and it being important to them for her to attend. Am I the asshole?
Okay, so
Ooh.
she gave you 3 weeks to talk to him. Why didn't you talk to him in the 3 weeks?
No, I think I don't think they both wanted to get pregnant. So, like, processing
Oh.
it was possibly difficult for her. Being like, "Oh my god,"
Mm,
and like so nervous, especially because he doesn't want a kid. Maybe she's on the fence about it and he's not. And she
probably.
was like, "I don't know how to approach him." And pregnancy hormones, as far as I know, I don't know how they were for her, but I'm sure she was extra anxious. So I'm sure she probably would have told him soon, but she was just building it up. maybe.
Yeah,
And then
probably
the sister,
just kind of stepped
especially
in
in
way
front
too
of
quickly.
everybody,
Yeah,
everybody.
that's definitely an asshole move there. I definitely would say that the sister is an asshole for doing that in a public like setting. It would have been better to sit them both down in a private room and like just be like, "Hey, like we really need to talk about something," and like give her the chance to say it herself instead of the sister saying it to him. I get that you're the
Yeah,
sister. I get that you're, this is your brother and you want to like, but you really stepped out of line for that. Especially doing it at
yeah,
a family dinner. Don't fucking do that. Don't put her on the spot like
yeah.
that.
She knows how her brother feels about like kids and whatnot, and then decided to just tell everybody. What? Why would she tell everybody? Like, I don't know if everybody is like on board. Like, everybody's gonna have strong opinions. Families usually fight over if they want a grandkid, if like they don't, or like if like the dad doesn't want the kid. Like, it's a huge
It could have,
argument. It
yeah, it
leads
could have
to
been
such a
different.
huge ordeal.
It could have been different situations. Like, what if they're not in a good financial status to where they can be like, "Oh yeah, let's have a kid." Like they're probably struggling. And they're like, maybe right now is not time for a kid, but maybe in the future.
Huh. It's just
Yeah, no.
like
I
I
definitely would say that she's not the asshole for not telling him. Only because she's trying to like she's processing it. It's probably her first pregnancy, is what I'm assuming.
yeah,
So
and like
that's definitely a hard blow if it's your
especially
first
with
time.
pregnancy these days, especially if he doesn't want to keep it. Like, I don't know how far along she was when she found out, but if say like she does get an abortion, that would possibly be difficult wherever she lives. And now she's gonna have to decide how she's gonna tell him, because then not only do they have to process that, but like say like it's not a viable pregnancy and she can't get an abortion, so like how are they gonna have to deal with like it's just so much can go wrong,
Mm,
and that's like so much for her to have to deal with by herself as well, because she's like, oh my god, what if he wants to leave me because of this, because like I'm pregnant, or maybe like he'll lose, like maybe he won't want to get married anymore, or maybe he'll change his mind. It's like it's so much, so many thoughts going through it,
mm-hmm.
but that's not the sister's place to tell him.
It really isn't. I would definitely say that she's not the asshole. More like the sister is the asshole. Um,
I get
yeah, no.
uninviting her from the wedding. I really do, cause like oh my god, dude, you sabotaged their moment. Like she wanted obviously to tell him privately. She didn't know how to do it, but she was gonna do it, and you just decided to tell the whole world. And now she doesn't trust you that same way. Like how is she gonna trust you to be the bridesmaid? If you did all that, and then now the family's gonna have like this whole like standoff, I guess. Like I don't even know. I don't know if there's an update. No, actually, this happened 2 days ago. I don't know if there is an update.
Mm, I hope the sister realized what she did was
I
really
hope so
bad.
too.
Cause could you imagine like that being your first pregnancy and you're over here like trying to see like what would be the best way to tell him, like you want to get the best reaction and blah blah blah. Could you imagine having to deal with that being your first reaction to your pregnancy? Like that's ridiculous. No
Some
expecting mother should go through that. Cause it ruins the mood for the mom, and then it's just like now that's what she has to remember, like her big news as a first time mom.
Yeah, somebody said, please explain why y'all are getting married if you can't even tell them you're pregnant. And some people are saying that same thing. Yeah, I was wondering if they were even ready to get married if they can't have that conversation. I don't know how long they were together before getting married. Sometimes that's some people's first conversation. Sometimes, like, I guess if he didn't really want kids, that's something he doesn't want to tread on as
Yeah.
much.
I want to know what exactly he said in order for him to get so mad that way, like yell in front of the family to her. Like what's the reasoning as to why he got that pissed off? Was it because she didn't say anything to him, or was it because he absolutely doesn't want the kid, or is it because like financial situations, like we don't have enough money to be dealing with a baby, like why would you, like, sir, you're part of this, like you were the one who deposited the 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 thing,
And the
so
child. The thing, yeah, the thing.
the thing, you're the one who, this is your 50%. So why we're going back to the 50-50. You put your 50% in. So why are you getting mad at the fact that she got pregnant? Like,
Unless it's because he feels that she tried to keep it from him, even though like she was just, I guess, trying to build up the how to tell him, especially if he doesn't want kids.
yeah.
And
Well,
like now, I guess the way the sister put it made it sound like she was hiding it from him and wasn't gonna tell him at all.
yeah, see, again, with the sister, it's just she had no place whatsoever to tell him. I understand, like I said, I understand that they're brother and sister and they should have, like, they can't have secrets between each other. But this is their relationship. You're not supposed to be butting it into other people's business. She'll find the way to tell him. She was gonna tell him regardless.
Yeah, dude. I get that like the sister and the OP were like close or like best friends or whatever. And I guess she was like really excited for, or was like, "Oh my god, I like he has to know." But that's still not her place to tell him, even though no matter how close they are, that's yeah, you guys used to be like this, like you can't see me, but I have crossing my fingers. But but now it's him and his fiance. They're having their own thing going on. That's them. That's not for you to butt in. Like she probably has her own family going on. She can't have. It would. She'd probably be upset if they butted into her family's lives like that. But she just butted into theirs, and it's possibly not. It didn't seem like that much of an issue for her in the first place, but it definitely should have been. She definitely should have thought that shit through.
Yeah, no. I say the sister is the asshole. Um, Mama, you are not the asshole, so that's my opinion.
Oh, I want to know how she worded it. I hate how some of these leave out the details.
Yeah. Freaking annoying. But maybe she'll have an update soon, hopefully. If she does, we'll get back to that one, but we'll see. Well, ladies, we are now over the time. Um, what was I gonna say? Oh, so thank you for everybody for listening and stopping in. We are always live on Twitch every Saturday from 10:30 p.m. to 11:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. The episode will be uploaded to YouTube and Spotify. We have been getting really close with Spotify. The reason why I say that is because we are at currently 40, and I say again, 40 followers on Spotify, and that's really, really awesome. We're trying to get to our goal of 50 for all of our socials. That'll be 50 for Twitch, 50 for Spotify, and 50 for YouTube. So we're really getting close with Spotify, and I believe Twitch we have 34, nope, 35 now because somebody did follow earlier. So thank you so much for that. We truly appreciate all of the love and the support. We do have our socials, Twitter, Facebook. We have our Discord as well. So we'll have all those updates on there in case anything happens, in case any schedule changes, or any big announcements will be said on all of those socials. But other than that, thank you so much for joining us for today's episode. We truly appreciate you letting us be part of your day slash night, and we'll catch you on the next one.
Powerpuffs out.